Hello and welcome. I am Lionmight. I'm a professional composer, music producer, and Genshin enjoyer. The characters for the Nod Krai patch has finally been revealed a few weeks ago, and I am so excited to share some of my thoughts on each character. And this is probably gonna be a very informal tier list. This is just me thinking out loud on who I want to pull for, and this is not based on any power ranking or meta ranking. As you already know, I am not a guide maker, I'm not a theory crafter, so I am mostly pulling for vibes and maybe some casual meta viability based on leaked information. And as of this recording, the beta test for 6.0 is already ongoing, so there's lots and lots of new information coming out. And before we all get buried in all that overwhelming information, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I'm just gonna have fun making this tier list based on aesthetic, vibe, and perceived power, and how they will be working with my current favorites from before the Nod Krai patch. This is not gonna be in any kind of restrictive ranking. This is just gonna be based on, as you can see on the screen, pull, pull, pull. Maybe pull, and not for me. I only like to pull for the hot women most of the time, but I also consider power, especially in meta standards, and lore, especially if they're an Archon. That's why I have Zhongli, Venti, because they're Archons, and I like collecting the Archons. I like collecting the lore characters. I plan to pull for Neuvillette because he's also not only a meta character, but he's also a powerful lore character, very much connected to the story of my one and only favorite, Queen Furina, who I have at C6. So yeah, pretty much it will be a very personal tier list, a very biased tier list. So before we begin, let me also know who are your top 3 or top 5 favorites who you plan to pull for whatever reason you have. Because, you know, at the end of the day, this is a video game. We like to have fun. We like to make our own rules for our own accounts. It doesn't have to be meta. It doesn't have to be just aesthetics. It can be a mix of everything. So I like to pull for the waifu factor and the power factor, but you know, it's always gonna be an it depends situation. So yeah, let's start from the very beginning. I'll just use whatever order this tier list maker has already provided. So yeah, start with Alice. Oh my goodness, absolutely pull. She is a deep lore character who's been hinted since the very beginning, and oh my goodness, it's been such a joy watching her lore given the breadcrumbs treatment. And it's so amazing to me to see how Hoyo has pretty much found so many creative ways to portray Alice without actually showing her, from Dodoko appearances to just voice presence and, you know, just voice lines from Klee. So the moment she was revealed, oh my goodness, jaw drop. And you can even see my facial reaction in a reaction video I posted in my main channel, which I will link in the description. But yeah, Alice for me is a pull with 3 exclamation points. And I know that she's pyro, which is, of course, one of the strongest elements in the game. I love the pyro element. I have C6 Mawika, and even though I think there might be some talks or some speculations that she might power creep Mawika, I don't really care. I will have 2 strong pyro characters. Just for context, I don't have Arlecchino, and I don't plan to pull Arlecchino because somehow I just really don't vibe with her, or something to do with maybe she terrorized Furina, and that did not really sit well with me as well. Although my daughter does have Arlecchino, and sometimes I play with her account to have fun with Arlecchino's gameplay. But as of this moment, I have no plans to pull for Arlecchino, and I'm hoping Alice's importance in the lore and her being Pyro will simply give her the meta importance that I don't even need to consider pulling for Arlecchino ever. But I believe, at least from my own personal opinion, I believe she will be some sort of Pyro sub DPS damage buffer. Maybe she's gonna be like an overpowered Escoffier for Pyro. And if that is true, she's just gonna overpower Mawika even. So yeah, absolute pull to the max factor for Alice. Colombina. Colombina is also a pull for me. Not only is she being treated with the importance of an Archon, she is also said to be Hydro, which is, of course, the most versatile element in the game. And I am just really excited about lunar reactions in general. I already have Inefa, so I'll just put Inefa here. She's a pull because I love the idea of lunar reactions. I love the idea of buffing the existing elemental reactions, which I still believe is one of the most unique features of Genshin Impact. So yeah, I already pulled Inefa, and you will see her in my banner pulling video. But back to Colombina, I don't usually go for Fatui characters. There, I said it. I don't know. My daughter loves the Fatui. She's saving for Colombina. She has Child, she has Arlecchino. Not Wanderer, though. We both dislike Wanderer. But oh my goodness, my daughter is the one who is super excited for Colombina. I am just excited. But yeah, I have a feeling that she will synergize well with Furina. And oh my goodness, I am so excited to have her in my account because I'm pretty sure she will make the gameplay even more interesting, even without knowing how her kit will be. But as with most of the modern lore important characters like Neuvillette, Furina, Mawika, not Raiden, unfortunately, I think Hoyo will at least treat her kit with the respect it deserves. Duran. I don't know about Duran. There's some speculations that he is a Pyro buffer, maybe kind of like a Shangling Bennett hybrid, which can be useful, especially for buffing Pyro, maybe. But I'm not sure. I'll just put Duran in the maybe pool. For context, I still haven't done the paralogism quests and the quests after that because I am simply holding off until maybe 80% of the original voice actors have returned, and some of them have started returning. I've recently come into reports that both Travelers' voice actors in English are now recording some of their newer lines. And before you say, just play in different language, bro, I refuse. I refuse, simply because I prefer English. All right, so that's my ranking for Duran. Maybe pull. For Flints, from what I've seen with Flints, he looks awesome. And he definitely is an aura farmer, but yeah, he's just not my style. No thanks, bro. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a powerful character. He's Electro. He's said to have similar kind of options as Varesa's gameplay, where Varesa has this burst and then a mini burst. And of course, with Flint's supposedly synergizing well with Inefa, who I already have, there's an even better chance that the electro lunar reactions involving Flints will be really powerful. But yeah, I don't know. He's just not my style. He definitely reminds me so much of my least favorite character from Final Fantasy VII, Vincent Valentine. I'm just really not a fan of that kind of a, I don't know, emo boy kind of aesthetic. But, you know, this is initial pre-Nod Krai tier list. So I might change my mind later on. But if I will be convinced to pull for Flints in the future, it will be because of power or meta. But as it stands, he's a no for me. Now, Yahoda is a 4-star, and I will definitely be probably getting her anyway, pulling for the limited 5 stars, but I do like her design. She definitely feels like a 4 star, and I don't think I've seen any kit leaks of her saying that she's 5 star. Her design is definitely 4 star-ish. So maybe I'll just put her in pull because I do like her design, but not sure about her kit. So let's just leave it at that for now. But what I do like about her design is it reminds me so much of my favorite character from Final Fantasy X, Riku, with a, mechanic goggles and kind of a overall mechanic vibe. I don't know anything about her story, but from the trailer, it seems like she works with Aino in her workshop, maybe? I guess we'll see. But oh my goodness, the next one is Llama. Ooh. The moment I saw her in that live stream and when I learned that she's Dendro, oh my goodness. She is an instant pull for me. Probably higher than Alice. Yeah, I just really love her ethereal aesthetic. Reminds me so much of the night elves in World of Warcraft, and the fact that she can turn into a spiritual deer and have some movement. But oh my goodness, I just really love her aesthetic. She's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's like prim and proper. And oh my goodness, I'm going crazy for Llama. So yeah, she's definitely super pull for me. I'm probably maybe already starting to pre-farm her materials. But yeah, I still need some more powerful Dendro characters in my roster. I do already have Kinich and Emily, but they are more Burgeon kind of Dendro, which is not synergistic with Lunar Bloom, which is the Nod Krai version of Hyper Bloom and Bloom, which is more an AoE kind of reaction, if you're familiar with the Hyper Bloom meta from Sumeru. And of course, Nahida being the only missing Archon in my roster at the moment, she will be great with my future Nahida. I am super looking forward to Llama. She is my number one. I'm most excited for Llama. She is just, chef's kiss, perfect. Yeah. Whew. Anyway, Nefer. Nefer is another Dendro character, and I feel like she's gonna be some sort of hyper carry kind of Dendro. Maybe like Alhaitham, maybe kind of like Kinich. Because with Llama being Catalyst, she's definitely more of a rest shredder and damage buffer. But I feel like with Nefer's more sharp design, lots of pointy things, lots of sharp nails and all that, she definitely evokes a hyper carry Dendro. So I don't know, that also kind of interests me, but I'm not really sure about her design at the moment. I will just put her in pull. She might turn out to be a great character combat-wise, which might make me reconsider. But between the two Dendro ladies, and they're both gorgeous Dendro ladies, if I do say so myself, I'm still definitely preferring Llama overall. Nicole, she is, I think, the most underrated in the conversation among the Nod Krai characters. I feel like her design, I don't know, out of all the Nod Krai characters, she's the one that is the most traditional medieval fantasy looking kind of character. I don't know. She's also elvish like Llama, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. I feel like with the wings that we've seen in the teaser, it looks cool. And I think she is a cryo character. But I recently just strengthened my cryo roster with Skirk and her premium team. So I'm not really too much in a hurry to expand my cryo roster. But again, design-wise, I think she's okay. For me personally, this is all personal. This is all personal bias. Not too excited for it, but also I don't dislike it. Just kind of like middle of the ground for me. But I do know that she's also lore important, especially in Sumeru and Fontaine quests, in the Archon quest especially. So yeah, it remains to be seen how they will respect her lore relevancy with an equally relevant kit. So yeah. Now for Sandrone. Oh my goodness, my daughter is totally Fatui fan, but I am not. I don't know. I'm just not really feeling Fatui characters in general. So probably Sandrone for me is a no. I think her design is unique. The marionette with a robot companion reminds me of Clara and Svarog in Honkai Star Rail. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. And even if her kit turns out to be meta relevant, I don't know. This is one of the cases where the meta kit will not save it for me, even if her kit is magnificent. I'm just not really feeling her design overall. So yeah, it's definitely a no for me. Now as for Varka, oh my goodness, Varka. Varka is similar to Alice in deep lore of Genshin, where he's been hinted at, referenced to, and mentioned so many times, especially me being a former Jean main. I've heard all the voice lines mentioning Varka, and oh my goodness, just because of that lore relevancy, I'm thinking of putting Varka at the top of my pull period tier list. Yeah, even above Yahoda. But again, he looks awesome. That scar is, I think, a great touch. But like I said, I have yet to learn about his kit. I know that he's Animo, and my top Animo character is Chaska, who I don't own yet, but her rerun is just around the corner, and I'm immediately getting from no Chaska to C6R1 Chaska. And the only way that I can be convinced to lift Varka in the tier list, maybe above here, if for some reason he is revealed to be a rainbow Animo DPS, just like Chaska. But from what I heard, he's just gonna be a regular Animo DPS, kinda like Xiao, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely gonna be more powerful than Xiao. Maybe kinda like Wanderer, I don't know, but at this moment, with that limited information, even his lore importance is not enough for me personally to raise the bar. And last but not the least, I know. Oh my goodness. I know is gonna go to probably second to Inefa at the top of my pull tier list. Because I know is now confirmed to be Hydro, our first Hydro Claymore user. And she is a free character, of course. But, of course, I'm still gonna pull for her constellations whenever she's available on whoever's banner. Because I know that she is a free lunar reaction enabler. And as Hydro, which is, again, the most versatile element in the game, it's just a no-brainer. And being an Inefa haver, I already am very intrigued on their lore relationships, and I wanna listen to Inefa's voice lines about Aino. I want to hear all Aino's voice lines about Inefa. And yes, I know you can check them out on YouTube, but it's not the same to have the voice lines on demand in your own account. Still has its own charm. So yeah, this is pretty much my own personal pulling tier list for the Nod Krai characters. Let me know what your own list is, and let's talk about it in the comments. And by the way, if you like video game music, discussions and performances of video game music, I have a main channel called Lionmight where I do exactly that. But if you just want my Genshin Impact gaming content, you're already here in Lionmight Gaming. And if you're still watching until this part of the video, you are a total champ. Thank you so much for your company. I will see you in the next video. Bye!